Hello YouTube and welcome, my name is Casey Kelterman. As I promised, I have a special Blu-ray update video for you here, and it was Black Friday a few days ago. We're just about a week from Thanksgiving. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Mine was fine. And I got a ton of movies, so let's get right into it. First up, we have 12 Years a Slave. I haven't seen this film yet. Obviously it's a great film because it won the Academy Award for Best Picture. So definitely we'll check it out here soon. Next up, the teen classic American Pie. Yes, American Pie, the unrated version. Just a very fun movie, 90s film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really funny. Me and my friends, we love to watch all these American Pie films, and they're just great films to watch with your buddies. Next up, we have another comedy, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Yes, as I showed you in the last Blu-ray update video, I had Anchorman 2, so I decided let's get Anchorman, the original Anchorman, on Blu-ray as well. So Anchorman, one of my favorite comedies of all time, for sure. Brick, he's one of the best comedy characters for sure. I love Lamp. Alright, so next up we got Christian Bale in The Fighter with, look at that, see him? Hey, what you doing over there, Batman? What? No. We about to fight someone? No. It's my Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, The Fighter. I've only seen parts of this on TV. Definitely will check it out. Christian Bale is one of my favorite actors, so I definitely need to see this. And once I see it, I'll let you guys know what I think, as always. And Mark Wahlberg, Christian Bale, The Fighter. Next up, we have a film that came out last year. It's actually my favorite film of 2014. The same year we got Captain America Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy. This was my favorite. Gone Girl, yes, starring Batman himself, Ben Affleck. Just a terrible, terrible date movie. But a great film nonetheless. If you haven't seen it, check it out. What's her name? Rosamund Pike. She was terrific in this film. She should have won Best Actress, but she didn't. Yeah, great film. Definitely a weird psychological trip once you watch this film. Excuse me. So Gone Girl, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Next up, we have definitely a polarizing film from last year. Godzilla. The first time I watched it, I loved this film. Absolutely loved it. Actually, in the theater, when Godzilla he is fighting the monsters and opens one of their mouths and just breathes his atomic breath into it, I cheered in the theater. I yelled. It was awesome. The only time I've ever cheered during a movie, actually. So that was pretty cool. But then I watched it about 2 or 3 more times, and this movie just drags and drags. But I definitely bought it on Blu-ray because the fights are awesome once they actually show them. Plus, we're getting Godzilla versus King Kong in a few years, so it'll be nice to refresh my mind of this original Godzilla film. Alright, next we got a triple feature, Goonies, Gremlins 2. I bought this because I love the Goonies. Goonies is the best. I haven't seen Gremlins 1 or 2, definitely will watch those. Just didn't grow up with them, so I haven't seen them yet. Goonies, one of my favorite 80s films of all time. Yeah, me and my brother have been compared to Sloth and Chunk, and my brother's the younger one, so obviously he's Chunk, so I gotta be Sloth. Hey you guys! That was my Sloth. I hope you liked it. Alright, next up we have the movie I was looking for the entire time during Black Friday, Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey. Alright. First time I watched it, I really liked it until the end, which is a lot of people's problems with the film. It's just too easy of an ending for Christopher Nolan. He should have left it more vague, for sure. But nonetheless, very fun, very visually stunning film. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Matthew McConaughey, this is one of my favorite performances of his, actually. So, Interstellar, great film. Not Nolan's best, but definitely worth a watch. Alright, next up we have the classic Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was looking for the other two, Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, but they weren't there, so I'll settle for Raiders of the Lost Ark for $4. Yeah, just one of the best action films of all time. Harrison Ford at the height of his superstardom. Probably my second favorite in the Indiana Jones franchise. Temple of Doom is actually my favorite. I just love the weird dark tone and the The minecart scene, just perfect action scene. But Raiders of the Lost Ark, it's great. If you haven't seen Indiana Jones, watch them. I binge watched the original trilogy of Indiana Jones last year. Fell in love with it. Raiders of the Lost Ark, check it out. Next up we have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. All 3 films. Got it for like $7 for the original trilogy. It's the theatrical versions. You don't need the extended cuts because there's a reason the theatrical cuts made it to theaters. That's the story you need. So Lord of the Rings, I'm not a huge Tolkien fan, but I still loved all 3 of these films actually, and Return of the King I could watch probably any day. So Lord of the Rings. Next up we have one of the most underrated films of last year, Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. I think that's the actual title now, the Live, Die, Repeat / Edge of Tomorrow, but Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt. Tom Cruise not doing his normal Tom Cruise-ness. He's actually vulnerable, I can't say that word, sorry, hero, and he actually dies quite a bit, just like in Groundhog Day. So that's kind of what the premise is, Groundhog Day meets sci-fi action. If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. Next up we have Everything is Awesome, the Lego Movie. Lego Movie, my favorite animated film of last year. Should have at least been nominated, let alone won for Best Animated Picture last year. Such great animation in this, and it's got great adult humor as well as humor for kids. So Lego Movie, if you haven't seen it, and you think it's just a kids film, it's not. Just watch it, and adults and people of all ages will actually love this film. Next up we have one of my favorite films of this year actually, Kingsman, The Secret Service. Wasn't expecting much going into this and absolutely loved it. Matthew Vaughn directed it. One of my favorite directors working today. Yeah, Kingsman, saw it this year. If you haven't seen it yet, watch it. I was gonna buy it right away when it came out on Blu-ray, but it was $25 yet, so bought it for $10 on Black Friday. And Kingsman, watch it if you haven't seen it. But be careful, it's rated R. Definitely earns the R rating. Alright, next stack we got The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I've only seen parts of this film, so I can't say much about it. David Fincher is one of my favorite directors of all time, so definitely will watch it sometime. Next up we have the 80s classic, Breakfast Club, John Hughes. There they are. If you haven't seen Breakfast Club, where have you been? Yeah, just Bender. Badass. Hold on. While we're talking about Breakfast Club, I gotta show you guys something. Yeah, see that? Bender. Pop Funko figure. Yeah, I saw these in the Barnes & Noble. I'm like, those are sweet. So I got Bender, and I got Johnny from Karate Kid. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Yeah, just thought I'd show those off. I've been trying to get a few more of those, the actual movie ones. Been looking for some Rocky ones, but those are like $100, so I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, let's get back to our Blu-rays. Alright, we got Tom Cruise, Days of Thunder. Haven't seen this in 10 plus years, so it's like $4. Tom Cruise in all his 80s, or late 80s, early 90s greatness, so definitely we'll watch this again. Next up we have my favorite Quentin Tarantino film, Django Unchained. Oh man, Leonardo DiCaprio is the villain. Just the best. Most Quentin Tarantino films are kind of hard for me to get through because they're really long and dialogue heavy, but this one is about 3 hours long, but it just flies by. It's so entertaining all the way through. So Django Unchained, if you haven't seen it and you love other Tarantino films, you obviously got to watch it. But if you love Western, or if you sort of like Westerns and stuff like that, you'll enjoy this. So definitely I recommend. Next up we have a film that came out this year but I hadn't seen because it wasn't in any theaters around me, so it's Ex Machina. Haven't seen it, so I can't say much about it, but from everyone I've heard, it's one of the best films of the year and could be up for Oscar contention by the end of the year, so I definitely will watch it before the end of, or before the Oscars come around. And yeah, Ex Machina. Next up we have the Matrix Trilogy. I've only seen the first Matrix because I heard you don't need to see the other two. I will check them out sometime, but it's not a priority since they suck. So yeah, the original Matrix, I actually watched this in college for the first time a few years ago, and just a classic sci-fi film. So if you haven't seen The Matrix, you gotta watch The Matrix. It's one of those films you have to see, you know, before you die. So Matrix Trilogy. Next up, we have my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio performance, The Wolf of Wall Street. Yes, the most F-bombs in any movie ever, actually. Definitely deserves it. If you haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street, you gotta watch it. It's sort of a life lesson on not to be like this guy right there. So don't be like him. But definitely a dark comedy. I love dark comedies. Wolf of Wall Street. Leo's great, like I said. Jonah Hill is in it, and he's great. And Margot Robbie is in it. Yeah, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn herself. Alright, Wolf of Wall Street. Watch it if you haven't seen it. Next up, we have one of the more surprising films of this year, actually. Spy. When I first saw the trailer for Spy, I'm like, oh, Melissa McCarthy again doing fat jokes and falling. I don't find that funny, but there's only one time where she falls, really, in this film, and I didn't laugh, obviously, but so that was fine. But not a huge Melissa McCarthy fan. I've only think she's funny in Bridesmaids. Everything else that I've seen her in is just the same shtick over and over. She's fat and she's vulgar and she falls over. But in this film, she's actually great. She's actually playing a character for once. Jason Statham. Oh man, this is one of my favorite comedic performances maybe of all time by Jason Statham. Jason Statham. That's my Jason Statham impression. Oh man, just him in this movie is brilliant. I was on top of a train, on top of a car. Well, the car was on fire, not the car. I was actually on fire. Just his whole story is about all his adventures, and he should be dead. Man, it's awesome. Spy. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. One of the best spy films of this year in the year of spy films. Next up, we have a film I probably didn't need to buy, but I saw it for $7 and it came out this year, so I'm like, why not? SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water. I just watched this the other day with my little brother, and yeah, the original animation stuff from the SpongeBob TV show is fine, but once they get out of water, it gets really weird and just very cheesy. But the stuff underwater is classic SpongeBob. There's a great joke when they're about to go above water, and it's everybody in Bikini Bottom is sitting there near the surface, and all of a sudden one of the side characters is like, alright, all the secondary characters, come with me. And so they all leave, and it's only, you know, the 5 people on the cover. I just thought that was really funny because you always think of the secondary characters in SpongeBob and how they just don't do anything besides say, my leg. You know, that guy. He's my favorite SpongeBob character of all time, for sure. The my leg guy. Next up, we have another animated film. Definitely intended for a very different audience. South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. First time I watched this, I was about 12 years old. Watched it with my parents and my cousin and his parents. Yeah, that was a great night. Anyway, South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. It's hilarious. Definitely one of the funniest musicals of all time. It actually is a musical in my opinion. So definitely worth a watch. As you probably know from the South Park TV show, it's very R-rated, so beware of that. But God, Satan and Saddam Hussein in this film together, that's just comedy gold right there. Alright, next up we're down to the final 2 films that I got this week, and one of them is 16 Candles. Yes, I am 21 years old and living by myself, and I bought 16 Candles. Don't judge me. It's John Hughes at his finest. So 16 Candles. I've seen this a few times here and there on TV, but thought I'd buy it on Blu-ray for $4. John Hughes, he's one of my favorite directors. I'm a huge fan of pretty much all his films that he actually directed. Some of the ones he wrote were a little less great, Drill Bit Taylor and stuff like that. Yeah. But anyway, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles. Just classic 80s movie for sure, and I love 80s movies, so thought I'd add it to the collection. And my last pickup on Black Friday was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the Steelbook. I haven't seen this Steelbook before. I've seen other versions, but this one's pretty cool. It's got the guitar in the front. If you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, of all the movies that I've shown you in my collection, this might be the highest of recommends, though, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it. You need to watch Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. This is how you direct just a great, fun movie. Just that's all it is fun, pure fun. And Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Michael Cera, Edgar Wright directs it. Just watching this one film, Edgar Wright became one of my favorite directors of all time. Just from one film, guys. So that's how great it is. And if that doesn't sell it to you, just look at this. An epic of epicness. Yes. If you can put that on your DVD, or excuse me, Blu-ray, you know you got something awesome. So Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Steelbook, had it on DVD. This movie definitely deserves the Blu-ray upgrade. Alright, anyway, that is all the Blu-rays that I got on Black Friday. Let me know in the comments below what you got on Black Friday, if you got anything. But I'd like to let you know that I will have a Creed review that I'm shooting right after this, actually. I tried to shoot it the other day, and some things with my computer, it got deleted. I don't know what was happening. But anyway, Creed review coming soon after this video. Make sure to look out for that. We'll talk all spoilers on Creed. If you haven't seen the film, watch the film. Definitely watch Creed. It's great. I will have a special intro to that video. I'm a huge Rocky fan, so you can maybe guess what it is, but special intro for that video for Creed, so make sure to look out for that. This weekend I will be seeing Krampus, the Christmas horror comedy, I think's what you would call it. I definitely will watch. I'm going to see that, so I'll definitely give a spoiler-filled review of that next week, so make sure to look out for that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching once again, guys. Remember to always like, comment, share, subscribe, drop a comment in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of the video. And with that being said, we're only about 2 weeks away from Star Wars, so I'm super excited, super excited. Just thought I'd mention that because Star Wars is life, guys. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and have a great day.